96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up in town, bro. Boy, I from Dayton, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up in town, bro. Boy, I from Dayton, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Dayton, bro. Boy, I from Dayton, bro. Dayton, I say up and running. Caliban say my show boy don't ever give in. 7 years of farm and watch the crops them coming. Two they see a humble thing, the lion sleeping. But they ain't for no reason. Only God that I believe in, living. Watch them only passion for a season. Godless, I gon' read them. I represent the ghetto people.
Good night, Bahamas. And welcome to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I am your host, Valentino, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. except holidays. Many of you might know me as my nickname, Scrooge. I have so many. They call me Governor. They call me Daddy. So I just like to say, to all and each and every one of you, I appreciate all love you guys show me as I pass around the country. And it's great to see that a lot of people now are listening to what I've been saying for the last 20 years in this country about introducing programs to combat the ills of our country, whether it comes to child abuse, when it comes to violent crime, it deals with the social ills, with poverty, single parent. I've been discussing that for the last 15, 20 years, and I'm glad to see that. I hope we don't put a Band-Aid on this and all this uproar in the month of January where we're seeing so many people have lost their lives, and now the country's uproar. And remember, I tell you, we always have this uproar every time we have a spike in crime. Then we go right back down to silent mode again, and then when something happens again, the spike, we go right back to the same crap again. I hope that we can have a contingency plan, and I'm going to try my best to see how I can talk about a contingency plan today that makes sense. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and you can text us at 422-GR96. And yes, we're going to have a very interesting topic because it's very interesting to me to see that we have to have a 20-year approach to this crime issue in the country, and it has to be a 20-year plan. And one of the reasons I say that because, many years ago, as a person who was involved in gangs and selling drugs and a lot of other different illegal activities, and being a bystander after I changed my life around, I changed my own mindset because I wanted to become a greater person. And I had a potential, and then I met some great people like Lyndon and, go on, Debbie Bartlett, and go on, Missy Linton, and you could go on, Simonets, you could go on, and, and as I get introduced to that social life where I see life is completely different, it started to make me change my mind and say, hey, what, I could be a plus to the country, not an F to the country, a plus. So ever since I've been grooming myself and developing myself, and teaching myself anger management, how to control myself, don't get too upset, don't let nothing really get to you where you lose control of yourself and then you make a crucial mistakes like I did over and over in my life. So I've learned to to humble myself. And people could say things to me which I wouldn't even get offensive. You know, people could call this show, I wouldn't get offensive unless you say something that I know that ain't true, and especially if something that I stand for, that I witness in my eyes, then we got with the conversation. It's not going to be a long conversation because I don't get upset, okay? And that's, you know, what we're going to talk about here today. So let me begin the show off today about talking about a positive program that is going to be happening in Woods Alley on the 28th of this month. Bishop Ferguson from Woods Alley will be having a rally in the park, which he's been doing for over 20-something years. He has a wonderful community center, and he does his part by doing after school, Sunday school, helping over the light bills, you know, and see what he can do for that small resident, you know, because even though you might see one street, you know, there are a lot of people living in these streets, so it's a whole community, you know, so from one end to the next end, it's a whole community of people you're dealing with. You could be dealing with up to 100, sometimes 150 people on one street, even more sometimes in these inner city communities. So I want to give it up to Bishop Ferguson, Big Harvest community, Woods Alley. I think it's the 28th of January. They'll be having their rally in the park as usual. There's a lot of invited guests who would be there, who has been sponsoring the community and Big Harvest community for over the years. So we want to give a shout out to him because he is playing a vital role in the development of our community of Grandstand, because we are all our community leaders in that respective community, and all of us are going to continue to give back. And we're getting stronger now. We're going to combine now our efforts together and see which program that we're going to transfer from one another, information from one organization to the next, so the kids on that end will know exactly what's going on. So big shout out to Bishop Ferguson, Big Harvest Community Center, Woods Alley. Okay, we're going to begin the show based on the recent spike in crime. And I've said many years ago that, you know, crime has not gone nowhere. They're just different individuals who has picking up that type of mindset, and it just pass on from one individual to the next individual, and then, you know, prison makes it worse. So if we're not going to rehabilitate the prison, if we're not going to invest in the schools, and one of the reasons I say the schools, you know, for me, I think many of our schools has a lot of playing fields out there, okay? And I think that the playing field is great, but why not just build a technical training college in one of the fields, and base one of the fields? You know, if you look at these fields in school like D.W. Davis, there's a big field. You know, a lot of kids, there's a lot of athletes. You know, I'm not taking away the athletic part about it, but I'm saying that, you know, we have to reach a point to understand that all the kids are not going to be academically inclined, and then we have to find ways on how we can change their mindset into being small business owners and et cetera. And one way we can do that is we're going to say to ourselves, we need to have technical programs in the school. So we have to build a technical center. You know, you don't have to be in every school, but basically every school we got to put technical training centers in it. And then in the inner city community, we're going to have to look for vacant lots, et cetera, and buy some of these properties and build technical training centers in the school. You know, and not only that, the homes that are run down in this inner city community, we're going to have to work with urban renewal, get a statistic data on how many homes that are run down in these communities, find out who the property owners are. Government's going to find a way how to purchase these, and then you could do something very constructive with these homes. You know, they could be given to single-parent mothers. Some can be turned into small business centers where people who go through the full training, you know, could set up their small business, you know, hair braiding, barber shops, etc. There's so much potential in the country. We just have to think out the box now, okay? We just have to think out the box. And what we have to do is change the mindset of our kids by providing the best opportunity. And most importantly, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play the first flick, and then we're going to go from there. Carmen, we could play the first flick with the Honorable Prime Minister in its response to the crime
Amendment will ensure that bail is automatically revoked for those accused persons who commit offenses while on bail. This includes those found to be in violation of the terms of their bail, an offense under the amendment. This measure sends a clear message. Our legal system will no longer tolerate those who flout its rules and endanger our communities. Our amendment will ensure that bail is automatically revoked for those accused persons who commit offenses while on bail. This includes those found to be in violation of the terms of their bail, an offense under the amendment. This measure sends a clear message. Our legal system will no longer tolerate those who flout its rules and endanger our communities. Our amendment will ensure that.
Okay, that's the Prime Minister. His response, I think that is a good move. You know, I hope that no one rights are violated, you know, because we have to look at the rights of individuals as well. But with this bill here, and I feel that if you on bail, honestly speaking, for the safety of the individual and the safety for the general public, I think that automatically if you're on bail for any serious crime and if you violate that bail, you as an individual are supposed to know the responsibility of bail. Bail is supposed to be very, very important to you because, you know, you could end up in prison, so the judge and the courts decide to give you bail. So it's a privilege. So once you get this bail, you know, you should say to yourself, you know, I'm going to try and see how much possible I'm going to stay out of trouble until my case is over, if I get win my case, etc. So if you are on bail, honestly speaking, it's unfair to the general public out there who are not on bail. For you out on bail to commit an offense, second offense, why is you on bail? And the citizens out there who have not been charged for offense, have not even been charged with a second offense, but you, who's supposed to be protecting your freedom and protecting your bail, would decide to do a heinous crime or indictment offense, I think you should not be allowed to have bail in the country. And that's my view on it. And it's for the safety of yourself as well. Also, you know, I listen to a lot of the shows over the week. I especially listen to Morning Blend because Dwight Scrone, you know, he had some very interesting topics on, so it's good to listen. And one of the things he talked about the anklet bracelet. And we were having this discussion by my friend Tiger Bar a few nights ago. Now, listen to me. I'm a guy from the streets, okay? But one thing I don't do, I don't like how our country is going. So anything that can save lives and protect the general public, because the general public is at a disadvantage. So anyway, I was listening to Dwight Scrone, you know, Morning Blend, and then he was talking about the anklet bracelet. So, you know, many people were uproar to see that people with anklet bracelet are just roaming the streets and, you know, going everywhere. You know, I don't understand it. You know, I'm not taking away anyone's rights. For the guys who wear an anklet bracelet, let me just say this to y'all. You guys have been to court. You guys are charged with offense. You guys are costing the lives of innocent people. And plus, you're causing the police harass innocent people because where you go with these anklet bracelets, see, where you go with this anklet bracelet, the police track this anklet bracelet. So if you go to a nightclub and people having a good, wonderful time, you don't deserve the privilege as a citizen to be in no nightclub in the first place. You understand? Because I don't have an anklet bracelet on and I'm not wanted by the police, okay? I'm not in court. So how do you get the rights to come in a nightclub, right? You could cause someone who you have a conflict with follow you to the nightclub. The people in there who work hard all week, you know, just want to party, have fun, you know, have no enemies. You who have your anklet bracelet, you come, you know, endangering everyone. Guys see you in the nightclub, come shoot them in the nightclub. Couple, you might get killed, might get shoot sometime, you get away. The intended target gets away. Innocent people who ain't know nothing but nothing, they get all shot up. So when I say pick up corns, let me say it. When I say corns, I mean bullets. And when I say shots, I mean bullets also. But we say in the neighborhood, we call it corn. You know, when you get shoot, we call it corn. And pick up corn. So for those who are listening, and I don't think that you should be able to go in a nightclub. I think that you should be restricted to a certain boundary, a certain time limit. And if you go in any nightclub where there's a crowd of people, I don't think the owner should even let you in, to tell you the truth. If I was business owners around the country, I'd have no anklet bracelet allowed for the safety of the general public. Because you guys are just getting picked off one by one, you're endangering the general public. You endanger the lives of the citizens who are being really, really putting their lives in fear, So I don't think that you should be able to roam the streets, charged with murder, go into the nightclubs, drive around in a car, all about you live in Baintown, you out Foxhill. No. That's not right. I think it's a waste of the taxpayers' money, and I think they should take the anklet bracelet box. I think they should take the anklet bracelet box contract, because it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. It doesn't make no sense. How could it make sense you charged with murder and you in a nightclub? No restrictions. It's unfair. And guys, I'm not fighting against you guys with an anklet bracelet, It's about fairness. You guys are charged with a serious offense. You should not be allowed to go anywhere in public where there's a crowd of people, especially if you have some type of problems with other guys. People use the crowd as a waiter. I say, use them for bait, because they're afraid. So they go into the crowd because they know they could run away and run this way and run that way. Unfair. Should not be allowed to be. And I'm going to say this to business owners. Business owners around the country, put up on your business for the safety of the general public. Anyone who wears any anklet bracelet is not allowed in my club, period. We're going to take this one call. Go ahead, caller. I guess they...
Good evening, Scrooge. How you doing?
Good evening. How you doing? Everything all right?
All right. Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to join the conversation. I didn't catch it last week. I was hoping to, but I missed that.
Okay. No problem.
When you was on the show with Howard last week.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're picking up on this conversation, because it's certainly worthy to carry forward. And, I just want to join in with what you were expressing.
Go ahead, sir.
And, I agree with your sentiments, specifically relating to persons on bail, for the mere fact that, there are several factors. Some of them you started to discuss. There's the public interest, but there's also the interest of the person who is on bail. And, clearly, in many instances, these persons don't care about themselves, right? And if they don't care about themselves, they're not going to care about the risk that they're bringing to others around them who are exposed to dangers because of acts that they committed, right?
Yes, sir.
And we don't need anyone to try and second guess or third guess or talk nonsense about proven guilty or innocent until proven guilty, because this isn't about that.
No, it's not about that.
This is about the statistics that the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clayton Fernando, consistently reveals regarding persons who are out on bail and the percentages of these persons who are being murdered.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Mr. Thompson.
And we are able to see in the public domain how not only those persons who are out on bail are being murdered, or those persons who are out on bail after being charged for heinous crimes are being tracked down by persons who want to take justice into their own hands. But we are also seeing where, forget the theoretical conversation about exposing innocent people. We are seeing where persons who were innocent have been murdered.
Over and
have
over.
Been murdered, Scrooge. Right down to the young lady in Nassau Village, 16 years of age, man. 16 years of age in her home.
Harboring. She was harboring
You know, this is madness. You know,
Yeah.
and the whole thing about it is, yes, persons who are taken before the court have a constitutional right. Yes, Scrooge, I acknowledge that, just like you. I acknowledge that. But what the Prime Minister did has nothing to do with taking their
No.
constitutional right.
Saving their life.
If you are granted, as you term it correctly, if you are granted the privilege of
Bail.
being granted bail by the magistrate
Yes.
or the Supreme Court justice, there's also
great
requirements to maintain that bail.
Yes.
And all the Prime Minister is saying, if you don't value your bail enough
That's
to
right.
maintain the requirements
Then
that
you-
are outlined in your bail,
then
we value your life, and not only your life, we value protection of the general public's life or lives enough
I agree, sir.
to put you where you need to be
Yes,
for your
sir.
own good.
Yes,
It's
sir.
almost like you're dealing with children who don't care.
Yes, sir.
You know, some children are mature enough to have a conscience and to be able to understand consequences. Other children just don't care. They're going to do what they want, eat as much candy as they want, and if their parents allow, they're going to do whatever they desire to their heart's delight and pay the price for it later.
Yes,
But
sir.
in this case, paying the price means people in the public are losing their lives.
Yes,
We
sir.
have children who in vehicles where, for instance, that situation had been down on Prince Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple children were in that vehicle when the assailants set out to murder whoever the adults were in that vehicle. We have children in that vehicle. And so it's clear that this situation is getting out of control, right?
Being under control.
And I'll end right here.
Go ahead.
And if the matter on crime, in particular murder, is getting out of control, and the main purpose of the members of parliament is to pass legislation for the good upkeep and running of the society, then by all means they have a full and 100% responsibility
To
to
protect
go
them.
to parliament and address the laws as it relates to bail in this country, a measure that will protect life of the public, that will protect the lives of those who are being charged before the courts, and that would also save those would-be killers from committing murder.
And save a lot of
Right?
innocent people, too.
Yes, and the innocent public, children included.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no one in their right mind, in
Good.
my view,
Right.
that should be challenging the Prime Minister and the Attorney General and the Cabinet on taking the position of amending the Bail Act. That is their right. They are the parliamentarians.
Yes.
They are the ones who set the rules for the
country.
judiciary to carry out.
That's what we vote for.
Yes, they are. The Prime Minister isn't telling the judiciary how to conduct themselves.
No.
He is making the laws that carry the provisions by which the judiciary acts.
I agree
That's
with you.
what he's doing, and that's what he's required to do as the legislator.
It
And
makes-
so I say kudos to him, Scrooge. Kudos to the Prime Minister, to the Attorney General, and all those involved. Kudos to the Minister of National Security, who is another one of our most brilliant legal minds in the country. Kudos to those who took the necessary steps to make this first amendment and other amendments in other areas to come
Yes.
in order to try and get a grip and put a stranglehold on this spike in murders. And like you said, Len Radio, like you said, what is even more important than just taking these measures is putting the necessary measures in place in a comprehensive manner that can address crime for an eternity going forward. Well, all we have to do is continue to tweak and
Yeah.
review and our amend. But we need to put the measures in place, not only for when the spikes arise, but to keep the control on crime,
Yes.
ultimately moving forward.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the opportunity,
Man,
Scrooge, and God bless you and all other leaders in our country, myself included, who are of right mind
Yes.
and want to see our country thrive,
Yeah.
and even want to see a situation where the criminally minded has an opportunity to reform
Yes.
and rehabilitate.
Yes.
God bless you, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Not
God bless
respect.
you as well, too. My brother. Yeah, that's what it's about, I think that our amendment, what the Prime Minister made in response to the current bail situation, we have to make some decision to protect ourselves, Listen, we have to make some of these decisions to protect ourselves, all right? And like I said, I'm not against the guys with ankle bracelets, I'm just telling you guys, right? Based on the statistics, like what Anton talked about just now, it shows you that wherever you guys go, that instruction follows. So I'm saying this to business owners. Business owners, y'all going to have to step up if you want your business to be successful. Most of these businesses and stuff around the country, they have no more shooting to the clubs. Reason why? Guys with anklet bracelet. And then other guys who are problematic. Even the guys who ain't wear no anklet bracelets are problematic. You business owners are going to have to stand up and say, hey, listen, buddy, you're not allowed to come in here no more, okay? And those who have anklet bracelet, you're going to have a sign saying that those who wear anklet bracelets are not allowed to public safety. For my safety, my customer safety, the country's safety, as long as you wear an anklet bracelet, you're not allowed in this establishment. And that's what we need to establish around the country. And then we need to have a perimeter on how you travel with your anklet bracelet in this country. And that company that does this anklet bracelet monitoring, they should be fired. We're going to take this next call. Go ahead, caller. Caller, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful. The godly date is this dark in a voice along with you, Scrooge.
Bless up.
We need justice, law, and order in this country, not play, justice, law, and order. Right now, I had called the police from shortly after 5, and they ain't reached yet, okay? And I called the police over and over for these people around here would continue giving me problem. But if I go deal with it myself, they'll lock me up just like they locked me up the last time. See, the police, the Prime Minister need to put teeth in the law whereby the police would be able to deal with situation in Spence Street off Mason's Edition on Mason's Edition. And a bunch of illegals around here, the police, the Prime Minister can do something with it. He can't just allow these people to just come in our country and do what they want to do. People can't walk the street, like they want to.
Wow. That's Bremen giving this thing on crime. But anyway, we're going to talk more about how we are going to move forward. We're going to give the second interview with the opposition leader. Then I'm going to talk about the 20-year plan. Okay, can you play that, Mr. Kermit? The opposition leader, his remarks on crime.
And just this morning, I would have received a correspondence from the Commissioner of Police wanting to have a dialogue on the range of matters that we have spoken about, and we will definitely meet with the Commissioner of Police and his team. We are minded to work with them and other stakeholders, and so we welcome every opportunity to work with him and others. I have presented a comprehensive plan to the Bahamas Christian Council in terms of how we can, wherever multiple churches appear in the same community, we can identify the priority areas, crime being one of them, and come up with programs that will be able to address it. We will revisit the commission, the Christian Council, so that we can get on with the implementation of that program. And we are grateful for all of the organizations that have given us an audience so that we can discuss the way forward.
Has a date been set for that meeting with the Commissioner of Police?
No, I just received the letter this morning, and I will write him on the break from Parliament, and we will move with a sense of urgency to meet with him and his team.
Are you encouraged by that the Commissioner reached out to you?
Of course, every opportunity for us to join hands, we are open to. And we'll do the same with the Progressive Liberal Party, notwithstanding the history.
For me, opposition, Michael Pintard, he's talking about bipartisanship. Well, this is what I've been speaking about for the last 20 years when I had my opportunity to speak at any event, government officials, sitting down with the Ministry of National Security, sitting down with the IDB buying, sitting down with prime ministers. This is what I've been doing for the last 27 years. And one thing I always said is that if we're going to approach this, let's approach this with a plan. And I always said that this is going to take 20 years. Reason why I say in 20 years is because the condition has deteriorated so much, we have to get ahead of the problem, okay? We have to rehabilitate the prison, okay? Then we have to spend millions and millions of dollars on the schools, building training centers, community centers, okay? We're going to have to build a small business plaza. Then we're going to have to continue cleaning up the community. You understand? So all this is a part of it. That's why it's going to take 20 years to get ahead of the problem. This problem is not going nowhere no time soon because so many of our youths are being programmed with violence. Okay? As we speak right now, the Bahamas is a conflict zone, pro 100,000 person. Crime is not out of control in the Bahamas, but murder is, okay, out of control. You understand? So murder is out of control, and murder is everything. One life values billions. So life is the most important thing. And as a leader, as the opposition leader, as leaders to the church, as leaders to the community, it's our job to protect life, and it's the most valuable thing on the face of the earth. So we're going to spend a lot. You know, many people see me saying things about the church, you know, and Christianity. Believe you me, I believe in Yahshua, Yahweh, which we call God, which we call Jesus. I do. For me, I feel that even though we look at it from a perspective of religion, if it's the religion and the book tells you about love and caring, I don't feel a small nation like this, with all the churches, with all the Christians we have in this country, that we can make a greater impact in this country. You know, based on the fact that we are one of the richest Caribbean countries in the world, what are we doing wrong? And we say we're praising God, and we say we're praising Jesus. Are we on the highways and byways? Are the church helping to build homes? You know, are the church going breaking bread daily to each resident in the community? The opposition leaders speak on the fact that get the churches involved. I've been saying this for over 20 years. We're doing a program now with Salem Union Baptist Church where Pastor Hudor awakened me about 10 years ago. And we've been doing this program. But with the proper funding, we could even take this to the next level. And this is one part of it, you know. So, you know, it's a bi-partnership. And if the Davis administration and the opposition, the representative of that organization, is the Honorable Michael Pintard. Here's the question to the country. We have this high urgency about crime right now. Then say we lose focus, you know, and we focus on something else, come up in the newspaper, we lose focus, then we started to lose lives again. Then by June, we have like 60 murders. What are we going to do then? Then by the end of the year, of December, we might be close to 100. Are we going to put a plan in place where we're going to say, we're going to look at all of the districts, we're going to look at poverty, we're going to look at housing, we're going to look at rehabilitation, we're going to look at the fact that we're going to have to introduce small business, we're going to look at the fact we're going to have to develop these inner city communities to make sure that the parks are sponsored year-round of social programs, okay? And these are the steps we're going to take from both ends of society, along with working with the church, working with government, working with the community leaders. Most importantly, I'm going to say this to all organizations out there. You're going to fail with your programs when it comes to kids in this country. I've been hearing it, programs. I've been saying it too. But see, I kept something quiet because as a guy who has a center in partnership with Lenahan, and I've been doing this for a long time, I'm still learning. I'm still learning on how to approach the situation. And here's one thing I learned. With Urban Renewal, BON, with all these other programs, the Bahamas is one of the richest countries in the world. And so this is what we're going to do. We're so uproar right now with the crime in the country that we're saying programs. So we're going to look for kids and get them in these programs, okay? That is great. That is great. Thumbs up. That is great to go look for these kids. How are these kids going to be able to sustain themselves on a regular basis to come to this program knowing that they're at-risk kids, come with single-parent home? So it'll be great. It sounds great. Eh? Get the kids in the program. Walk around the streets. Get them in Urban Renewal Bond. No, I'm not criticizing Urban Renewal. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not criticizing no program that are doing good out there. But I say it could be more effective. Just give me 1 second. Carlos, just give me a second. Let me just explain. So you expect the kids them to come to this program. They come from these homes. Okay? So we build these training centers. these community centers in these inner city communities. So we go out there, we get 100 kids. Come, their stomach bubbling. They don't have no clothes. The internet off at home. Okay, the parents probably ain't even there. So the kids managing to come there off their own and probably bring their brothers and sisters as well. The first thing we're going to have to do, if we're going to build community centers, if we're going to have programs in the inner city community, they have to be properly funded. And one of the first things we're going to have to do, if we have 100 kids in a program in the inner city community, those kids should have a stipend of $200. You hear me? Listen to me. Those kids, each individual kid should have $150 to $200 cash. Listen why. Cash on a weekly basis. And they should also have a voucher to go to Super Value, right? For about $300. See, if we're going to save, we want to save this country, we're interested in these kids and all this stuff, we ain't sending no kids to no program to teach and get lecture, and they're going to be bored and they're going to drop out of this program. But if they know they're going to get paid to learn, these kids would excel. And if they know they get their voucher, their food voucher, and they get $200, they'll be them classes every day and they'll learn everything that needs to be learned in this country. Okay? Let them go and feed themselves. Teach them money management wise they're part of this program. Teach them about banking. Teach them about saving and how to spend their money. We're going to have to pay the kids them in this country, man. I don't care what no one say out there. Listen to me. If anyone even call this radio station and talk any foolishness, but you can't pay people to learn, let me tell you something. There's the Bahamas. And all our forefathers and our foremothers that are in the grave who voted for all these political parties and all those leaders who got rich in this country off the poor people in this country that went in their pocket, right? Who we vote for, and they go in politics. And the same money with all these people over the last 50 years in politics who become multi-millionaires. Huh? And you try and tell me, and the money they make in politics between the PLP and the F&M and what they made with the UPP. Let's explain something to y'all. All those politicians, some pass away, some still here, but all those who pass away, they have these big multi-million dollars, this and that come from the back of the poor people in this country. And that's why we're in this position the way we're in now. So it's time to give back. That's the people money. So you trying to tell me all these people out here, you trying to tell me the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Davis, you can't put $100 million into crime preventative measures so that we could have this money every year for 5 years and just develop the inner city community and pay these kids, build training centers, have the church involved, and then increase the salary of the MPs. That ain't $100,000 what the MPs get. Let me explain something to y'all. See, many people don't like me, and a lot of people like me because I can tell you like how it is. You think that Mr. Watson could do anything with $100,000 in Bainton, in Grandstand? Huh? What $100,000? What the hell $100,000 could do for? Listen. First of all, let me explain something. In these communities, when you see people vote and get registered to vote, I don't know how much people voted in the last general election was less, but I know probably less than 15,000. In that community alone, they might have want to register 14 or 13 or 12,000 people registered to vote. Right? Then you have about 5,000 or 6,000 people vote in the general election. That still don't tell you how many people live in that constituency. Area like Bainton get about 40,000 people living in it, and Grandstand get about 40, 50,000 people probably live in that area. So how in the world one man, Mr. Watson, getting $100,000+ can make any changes in the area like Bainton when everyone get the same damn problem? Excuse my language, Mr. Producer. It make any sense to anyone out there? So every year we do this bunch of bull crap. What $100,000 could do? And the minister got to get a little cut out of that when he get one of them contract. Huh? And we don't see it with Adrian, with our what is his name, Adrian Gibson. This is what all ministers do, and he's a junior minister, and I'm not saying he's doing it, but this is what it is. So what he could do? Huh? What he could do with $100,000+ for all those people out there? He might only get help of 10 or 15 people a year or 20 people a year. Huh? The rest of us, you know what we is? We used to for pickings. So I feel that the ministers of each constituency should now be given $1 million plus a year, and they have to give account to show at the end of the year they have 100 people on 100 programs, 100 kids who getting 200 plus per week, 300 for grocery vouchers. Okay, the church could deal with the back to school to make sure they don't have to worry about no back to school. Community organization can make sure, other things is met. Those who are at rest, the church can start go and accompany these young men and young girls to school. And this is how we make changes because the funding will be there. Okay? So all our lives on the line when we talking about MP at this and them, MPs can't do crap for us. Huh? It's a slap on our face to be getting $100,000 in the area with $40,000 to $50,000, 40 to 50,000 people. That's crazy. That's suicide. That's why we ain't getting nowhere. We ain't too smart as behaviors. I think they say, we code suit and we smart, but we ain't so smart. But think about the logistics what they just tell you and see if it make any sense. Who MP could help a constituency with over 20 to 30,000 people with $100,000 and don't have all the resources with all the government agencies? We're going to take this call. Go ahead, you're on inside the inner city.
Hey, Scrooge.
Good night. Good night. I guess they left. Am I making any sense to anyone? So if we're not going to say we have a 20-year plan, right? And don't care who government comes in. Michael Pentard stated that he want to have a bi-partnership. They're supposed to have a bi-partnership from over 25 to 30 years ago, where we have a plan to say we're going to deal with unemployment in the community. Okay? We're going to deal with the rehabilitation of the prison and the re-entry, and the church could deal with the re-entry. Let me give you a simple example. See, I use a brain box. I live in Grandstand. Okay, I live from Lower Street, 8th Street, and Taylor Street. Simple. Right? Guys who get charged for any offense in Grandstand, Lower Street, 8th Street, Taylor Street. The job of the community leader in the church is to get their names, see where they live in this particular community. Record it. All right? Those in prison who from this particular community of Grandstand, we'd have their names. So time as we done do our research, we know exactly how much young man from this community are charged with serious offenses. We know who is coming back out. So we start to minister to those in prison, and we start to take care of those who are charged with serious offenses. You understand? And what a shock these young men is to see that the churches in the area coming to see them in prison. And coming to see them on a regular basis by allowing them to meet their sons and their daughters. And that church has a lot of connection where they could reach these young men and help them doing some other stuff. Now, some might be lost cause, but the thought alone of seeing the church, the pastors from this particular community, along with social service, be going up to the prison and talking to these young men who are incarcerated and making it possible for them to re-enter society. And the church would know when they're coming back, and we'd prepare ourselves for these individuals instead of letting them run room in these inner city communities. And that's how we can work and have something we can offer these guys. And we can't do that. We're going to take this next call. Go ahead, caller. You're on it inside the inner city. No? Simple solution. Every community can do this. All at-risk kids, register them, work with a different organization, and then the pastors deal with those who charge in that community and goes to prison. Keep them on the register, knowing that they're going to come back in Fox Hill. So we as pastors in Fox Hill know exactly who these young men are, and we'd go to minister. So we'd have the whole Fox Hill team of young men, and we'd pull them aside and say, we have 40 guys here from Fox Hill. Find them, maximum, minimum, and let's put them together. You see? And then what you would do is you would create a community again. Everyone is just stagnated. All we have to do is tackle. We have all these churches, just tackle. See, if you want someone with some wisdom and could give you all some ideas, y'all can look for Valentino Brown. And you know what? Bring one paycheck too. Because y'all didn't know what y'all doing. Okay? You got to know how to tackle the situation and analyze the situation. You got to get all those guys from that particular community and register those guys, and the churches have to know, and you have a re-entry plan. And then you could work with the prison officials to help these guys while they're in prison and show them love. And you can imagine 20 pastors, along with their colleagues, coming to prison on a regular basis, dealing with just the Foxville individual. The grandstand pastors, them dealing with the grandstand people who charge and are in prison. And then when they come back, we have programs set up, working with the church, working with government, because we have training centers built in the inner city community, and maybe these guys could do some maintenance work. Maybe these guys could do some landscaping work. Maybe these guys are some good, what God was all, they good in with their hands. You never know what God, when the sky is the limit, we have to think out the box. I see the First Lady, Mrs. Davis, she spoke the other day and she talked about urban renewal. And she was speaking on the fact of saying that where is the anger management program? She's calling for it in urban renewal. See, urban renewal can be a beacon that's what it was designed for, but it's so political, it's not being very effective. Okay, like I said, the kids in the urban renewal bond needs to be paid. Listen to me, man. Listen to me good. Stop using the kids in this country for photo ops. If we really want to have this country, I'm tired of this fuck of seeing kids to these programs and just getting food. Let's start giving these kids vouchers and let's start paying these kids to come to these program, please. Mr. Prime Minister, when you do your budget debate, put $100 million per year just for crime prevention programs. And make sure that each individual that deals with kids or any program in the country has an outstanding background check where they're showing you we had 100 or we had 50 kids this year, and the $1 million you gave us, we show you where everything was taken care of. The kids got their scholarship. The kids' scholarship is paid. All their travel fee was paid. Every week, they get $200. Every week, they get 300 gross vouchers. Every summer when it's time to go back to school, the church assists with back to school. The community leader like myself, Valentino Brown, deals with the basketball programs in the area. So we have them on the park, and they're well fed. You see, this is how we're going to approach this. Yeah, programs all y'all want. Pay the kids vouchers, $200 per week and $300 voucher. Pay these kids. All these organizations around this country now talking about they want to help and they want to do this. You're going to pay because, like I say, you're dealing with at-risk kids who struggling hungry. So if you give them this, right, they'd come to those programs and they excel, and then they get to go, they have vouchers. This would change the mindset of these kids so much. So if we ain't talking no money, just coffins, all right? If we ain't going to invest in our kids and in the community, coffins, all right? Simple as that. Go ahead, caller. Call you on inside in the city.
Can you hear me, Scrooge?
Boss?
Can you hear me?
The producer, I don't want to be breaking up. Can't hear you up and down. You understand? Now, for most people out there who don't like the way I talk, I speaking for all of y'all. I ain't no PLP, I ain't no F in them. I speaking for each and every individual in this country to improve their lives and make the situation better. That's what I all about. Okay? I for myself, I had my restaurant around the corner I've been working on for 15, 16 years, and as much money that comes through Lennon Bombers and comes through, I take my own personal funds and go clean up my own area for the last 10, 15 years, people. You understand? I used to take my money on my own pocket and have my own basketball tournaments, and I'd get snipings from other guys in the community. You understand? And I struggling. And I still struggling because I don't use people. When I receive funds from certain or persons, I put it exactly where it's supposed to go. And that's what we have to be responsible leaders in these organizations. See, honesty is a very serious thing, and I have that. Check my credibility, though. Ask anyone who do any business with me. Ask them about me and my personality, and ask them how I am. That's how serious this is, bro. If you ain't gonna pay the kids, don't talk about no programs. Huh? Every day we get these kids here, and then these kids them drop out. The kids them dropping out because what a sense they come into the program and they ain't have nothing to gain. Yeah, they might, yeah. You might say, well, what you mean they getting it again? Huh? But the kids them come from address home. Light off. Huh? No running water. No internet. Huh? So now you want to get these kids and entice them by giving them a little breakfast, a lunch to come sit down there all day. And yes, the education is important, but those kids ain't going to listen to you. They mind ain't be in the right atmosphere. But if they know that they get them a little $150, $200, and the only way they're going to get this if they get good grades and be disciplined and be a part of all the money management, anger management, and etc. Urban will flourish. You would see but 200 kids there, and you'd watch them become productive citizens on the funds they get from the private sector and government. You got to pay the kids, bro. Any program in this country, you're going to have to pay the kids. Stop using the kids in this country. Stop. If we say we want to stop crime, y'all listen to me. See all the people out there? I speaking to all y'all. If y'all say y'all want to stop crime, any program in this country right now that has kids from the inner city, y'all pay these kids, man. Pay them to learn. And give them vouchers. And it has to be a 20-year plan where the Prime Minister signs a bill. I want to see the Prime Minister talking, the opposition talking. They say they want to buy partnership. Well, you two guys, sign a bill, draft a bill. Listen, draft a bill that deals with housing, that means deal with community development, deals with what else? Let me see. There's a lot of stuff. But sign a bill that deals with all the stuff that relates to crime. And say for 20 years, don't care who come in power. Listen, we're going to continue to put this $100 million into crime preventative programs. And every year, the government needs to put $100 million towards it. And even though these old crooked MPs who get this $1 million if the government was to increase it to $1 million, and if we ever find out that you ain't produce some great future policemen, defense force, carpenters, and etc., and you thief this money, because you guys are the biggest problem to this country. Because when you all live with a 5-year term, some of you live with the junior MPs live on a little 2-3 million. Senior MPs, 50 and 20, could even be 50. Some might even care more than that. You understand? Who do you think this affects? And then the only thing happens is they change seats, and then we have 1 or 2 charges before the courts. But where all the money going? You remember when they talked about how much money was in the Treasury the last time the Free National Movement was in power? So where all you think all the money is go? And not to say, this government is going to be no different. If they get elected out, it'd be the same thing too. But millions and millions go, millions and 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 millions. Our money go missing for each term a government serve in this country. And that's the same money what's supposed to be trickling down to help the future generation of this country. So you know what God is doing now? God is making us feel the pinch. You see, we get a travel advisory from the U.S. Embassy. And I say this again. We still don't defend our integrity. Because of the murders that happened in the country, I think it's 17, not one tourist this year was shot and killed or robbed or raped. So we don't have a crime against tourists. We have a crime against Bahamians, black on black. So if you look at it, the tribal advisory was a bad thing, but also it's a good thing. But I can tell you, to the visit from Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, Canada, Mexico, the Bahamas is the most safest place in the world for you guys to travel. Okay? You're in no danger here. Okay? All the guests that wants to come to the beautiful Bahamas, Listen to me. We have 700 islands, 700 keys. We have a big problem in our inner city community of Nassau, New Providence, where we neglected our future generation, and now we are paying the price for neglect. We top steal, the bottom comes corrupted. Now we ain't have no control over ourselves. But the good thing is, we do not attack our bread and butter, which is the tourism industry. You could come to the Bahamas. The Bahamas is the most safest place in the world for any one of you guys. We are the most nicest, hospitalist set of Bahamian people in the world. The only problem is we stink with ourselves. But the guests, we love the guests. We're not gonna rape the guests. We're not gonna put a gun on the guests, okay? That is not us. We just have a black on black crime problem in our country, and we need to correct it. We're gonna take this call. Go ahead, caller. Good night.
Yes, good night. Can I get on the show?
You're on the show. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, but I have a delay. Listen, I think what we need to do, many years ago, Sudan had a program, whereas they had trade school in the evening.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
Go ahead, sir.
I took advantage of that many years ago in the 80s. I think what the government can do, I'm talking about BTVI, every constituency has a urban office where they really need to use.
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
also
sir.
the constituency office where you will ask young men between whatever ages to come in and register under trade.
Yes, sir.
Now, we'll have a list of trade, carpentry, electrical,
I don't love
drywall,
I don't love you already, so
and
go ahead.
mason, right? Now,
Go ahead, sir.
the government needs to know what's happening in these, and especially you're going to target certain constituencies like Baintown, whatever. And based on the number of persons, I hope the MPs are listening, and the government's listening, based on the entries and the applications that would come in, they'll be able to determine that they can have a program within that area utilizing one of the schools in each of the constituency, and also they'll be able to bring back some of the retired teachers who would have had trade, who would have taught trade many years ago, and give them a stipend so we could develop it's free education, free trade for those young men
Yes, sir.
who are hanging around
Yes, sir.
and with their idle hands,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
We need to try that out.
Yes, sir.
The BTVI and the whatever else, I mean, they may be for the privileges who can afford.
We need them.
I'm not talking about them. Once the government does that program, let's see how we can draw and encourage those young men who are idle during the daytime. These are strategies that we can use. The urban officers, I agree with, like I said this morning, I agree with the Prime Minister's wife, that we need to wake up those urban officers and have qualified persons in there who will be able to help the young person
Yes, sir.
in the
Oh,
evening
yes.
and who may have
Oh, yes,
psychological
sir.
problems
Oh, yes, sir.
or who may have whatever ails in those various constituencies. Okay? You see, and I will say this to all politicians, you are elected, but if you're elected, you have to do your job. It's not about politics.
Not now.
It's not about who voted F&M and PLP. And those who hear me know why I'm saying this, and I'm talking to he or she, especially she. You must understand that you have qualified persons who can fix or to assist the ills of our community. It's nothing to do with PLP, F&M, UBP. It's about the person who's qualified to get the job done. I am tired. You know what's killing this country? We got this buddy foolishness and friends and lovers, and that can't happen. All right? This country will go down with all of us, not some of us. Okay? I'm talking to the politicians especially. If you got a qualified F&M or a qualified PLP, let them remain on the job.
Let them remain on the job.
Okay, they're here to help the country. Okay, this is foolishness. I mean, I thought we were mature enough to pass this nonsense. I've spoken to a particular minister about this, a female minister about this, and I was very upset with her answer when she first came in. And I hope she's listening to me. You cannot be playing with people's lives. And God is going to hold you responsible.
You got it right.
Okay, leaders of any country, you think you guys going to do what you feel like doing and go against the will of God? You got a time coming. There's going to be a penalty for you. Going to be penalties for me. Okay?
Yes, sir.
We have a lot of things going on with this country, and God is allowing it to happen.
Yes, sir.
There's some, but this is not too bad.
No.
But God is watching the hands
That feeds
of
us.
the leaders of this country on what decisions are we going to make based on the international body getting us to decide on certain issues. And one of those issues is the rights to the LGBT and homosexual, all that foolishness, right? We as a nation, God is watching us, especially leaders.
You want to see something?
We have to determine that we believe in God and not man.
You got that right.
We must also determine that what is based on the word of God. I didn't say church. Let's be careful.
God's word, sir. You're saying God's word.
What Christ is saying about those ills. You have other ills. You have other sins. I agree. But especially these things that they're trying to push down the throat to the Bahamians in this country and the leadership of this country. I don't care what sanctions they put against us. We must stand for what we believe in Bahamian, and we believe in Jesus Christ. And we must not compromise the word of God. Okay? I'm telling all leaders this. Be very careful what you do. Don't sign on to something that is contrary to the word of God. We ain't perfect. We're all sinners.
Yes, sir.
But you can't be that silly to not know what is right and wrong, what God would want you to sign and not sign. Because condemnation will come on this nation.
Yes, sir.
If we sign on to these people who don't believe in God.
Yes, sir.
Okay? This country is still a country of God. I don't care. Yeah, we got murders.
Yes,
we got problems.
Yes,
but this country is one of the best countries in the world.
Yes,
you know
sir.
why? Because our grandfathers and our parents have taught us the fundamentals of the life of Christ.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah, we went astray. Because why? We got influenced by the West, eh?
Yes, sir.
The world out there. But I encourage the government, steadfast, unmovable. Steadfast, unmovable. Listen to the clergy in this country. I don't need to preach to nobody. That's why I'm calling. Because Christ sent messages to many vessels. And the vessel you think that is weak and ain't nothing, that in your mind that doesn't carry any weight, you stay right there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I am calling it. Because I don't normally call it like this, but this is how serious this matter is.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I ain't no prophet. I ain't nothing like that. I ain't got time for that. People paying this prophet and speaking in tongues, unless that's interpretation. I ain't got time for this nonsense.
Someone's be faking, sir.
Yeah, listen to me. When Christ came on this earth, when he walked the streets, he asked people, what you all doing with my church?
Yep.
There's a lot of things that we are not going by what he has
said. That's right.
Has left us
yes, sir.
to be guided through, to use, right, as a guideline to what Christ has left on this earth for us to do. But we have to be very careful.
Not to lose that.
Okay, not to lose track of the main, shall I say, the message that Christ has left for us, for others,
yes, sir.
which is salvation.
Yes.
So, there are some of the items I have to deal with some of the inner city problems.
Sir.
The minister who's now responsible for urban renewal, he knows me. He needs help. I got the people who can assist urban. I was there before. I volunteered my time. And my wife was a member of urban.
Wow.
She cried shame at what she see now. There's no time to play around with words. I am telling you, urban is nowhere where it should be.
No, sir. Nowhere.
Okay?
Nowhere.
And if urban was where it's supposed to be,
A lot of these areas would have been
I
dealt
think
with.
a lot of things we could have avoided in this country.
Yes, sir. Let me give.
And I urge the Prime Minister that any minister that fails, and this ain't no time to play games.
No, sir.
Any minister that fails under your leadership, they have to be removed.
Yeah.
And what I mean removed, not be nominated again.
Yes, sir. I agree.
You need ministers who are going to do the will of God for it and the people of this country.
Yes, sir.
And have a meaningful, shall I say, a meaningful way in assisting our young people.
Yes.
And if they want just be politics, then get rid of them.
Yes.
Okay, we got too much politics in this country. Okay?
Yes,
and
sir.
I urge the Prime Minister to be steadfast. If your ministers are not performing, then they need to be relieved of their duties.
Thank you.
Simple as that. So Lyndon Pillin never played again. Okay?
Yes.
Ingram the same way. Okay? So Cecil, well, I know he wasn't any leader, but he never played either. Okay? We have to get serious. There's no time for MPs just to collect a salary, and then there's no results.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
They got to get the job done.
Yes, sir.
I had promised to come on your show, but I was very, very busy with a lot of stuff.
Well, you get
but
my
there's a
number.
lot of things I want to say constructively, so we can put the Bahamas on the map
Yes, sir.
again. Because right now
We ain't on the map.
we are not on the map. As far as God is concerned, we definitely is not on the map.
No.
And that's why we're getting we're getting a whipping from God.
Yep.
Because even some of our not politicians, our leaders in the church playing too with God.
Yep.
They playing around. I keep telling them, you speak in tongues, there must be an interpretation.
Thank
That's all I can say. But I will get to you.
I can't wait. I can't
I will
wait.
come with solutions.
Yes, sir. Makes sense.
Okay?
And
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you as well, sir. You did a
Thank you,
wonderful job. You gave a good prime example when we talk about the training centers. And you mentioned the fuck up sniping. See, listen, if we're not going to get sniping, ain't nothing happening. All right? Because we playing with our children in this country. You understand? That's how I feel about it.
Well, I mean, if they can afford it, fine. If there any other way that they can assist those individuals with some stamps and stuff, fine. If they can't find them, see, back then they offered money, but I didn't take it
Yes.
at that time. And the country was doing very well. We wasn't in a deficit in which we had war.
No.
Not now. But if they could find other ways of supporting these young men who may have families and who may be suffering, maybe stamps and food voucher.
Yep.
Don't have to be money.
Yep.
But politicians are being paid to think. I should not come on this radio tonight. And you know, I like a Donald Trump,
Sound good.
because I would fire you on the spot. See, you're being paid to do a job. And if you're not doing it, then you should be removed. I don't care who you are.
Yes, sir.
F&M or PLP.
You're right.
Okay? We have to be serious. We have to be serious. If I'm the leader of this country right now, trust me, we have some things that need to change and change right away. We shouldn't take long
Yes.
to make changes.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Because trust me, I got plenty fire underneath me right now, my brother.
Thank you very
Plenty
much.
fire and more to come. And more things we need to do.
Yes, sir.
People, politicians needs to listen.
Thank you very much.
And they don't listen, They don't listen.
They go
but
feel.
That's okay. There's a God.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
So hopefully I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
It'll be a
sir.
pleasure
Thank
to
you.
meet you in person.
I appreciate you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. You did a wonderful job here tonight. We're going to take one more call. Go ahead, caller. You want inside the inner city? Caller, you there?
Hello.
Hello, good night.
Yeah, it's Paul Squishy.
Anything good, bro?
Yeah, great show, man. Listen, I just doing it regular even when I call, so sometimes I just run my itinerary to make sure I home and just come on, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what I realize is a lot of you boys, you see your boy Tiger you talking about, right?
Yeah.
That's my boy. And I can't call him a nickname on the radio. I'm different from you. You more listen to me, Tiger. Listen, man. Oh God, I used to be in the yard, in the grove.
Okay.
As a decent young fella, I know his wife, I know his children, but they get big now, even you know what I mean. But they look like their mother, some of them.
Okay.
Yeah, he got the little thing there, the little liquor store on Hay Street.
That's Tiger call?
He got the liquor store by Hay Street, and he closed it down.
No Tiger still there?
Yeah, that's my boy, man. But
Right.
I could have called him a nickname, but listen, man, you know a lot of people I know, and then your boy Dinkus, right? You know, radio.
Yeah.
Maybe you, radio. We got a hookup, all right?
Yes, sir.
And listen, man, you would ever thought when we was youngsters, right, Scoozy?
Hey.
You know, we thought our generation was bad, right? You're not a little older than you, but before the gangs, so someone suggested 52 was in a gang. I never was in a gang. I told you that.
That's what you
I was before the gangs, but I know when the rebellions, the Border Boys, and the Nike started. The Nike started after them.
Yeah.
And as a result of them, right?
Yeah.
And I know the little young cats, some they was younger than me. They could never get me to join the gang because I always the man of my own. Plus, I was a Leo born on August 8th. So, you know, I don't follow no man. And one thing I like what you said last week was the deification of the worshipping of man, putting trust in man. You know what I mean? And so the last caller spoke up a lot of things that you and I and Howard and people would have spoken about. But I don't know if you listened to Howard today. He had God on, but I think, but Howard, and basically, we all are saying the same message. Howard spoke of the neglect and the not realizing the quality of the people that we have here and investing in human investment and human capital, so to speak. See, we say things differently. But I realize all of us on the same page because you end up saying neglect. So I came on the radio this week. I tried to make a little joke. I said 50 years of neglect equals 17 years in 1 month. That's the math, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. That's
so what I'm saying is I try to be, you know, and people, you know, even us, we do these things, we be criticized. But, you know, me and you, like you could criticize me and you could criticize the police, right? But I could never be against the police.
No.
Even the big shots them in the world would be used to be in, right? They had some of them people on their team. And me and you know the streets run, but we can't say certain things, right or wrong.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, Cousy.
Yeah.
So you would have noticed the big drug busts in the islands, the outer islands, them respectively the other day. Last year there's a few of them, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't heard anything about them, whether it's adjudicated, who got fined, what's going on, the Colombians in jail. But it was the Bahamian, you'll hear all of that. He got fined, he went to jail, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't understand what's going on in school. You could tell me. But anyhow, another day for that. But what I'm saying is the neglect. The gentleman spoke up. But see, I think your concept top his own, even though I had mentioned what he had mentioned because we was talking about bringing BTBI and technical skills
inside
to
the city
youth,
community.
Right?
Yeah.
But because I went to school in Jamaica, when I went over there for the first time, I was in grade 10, and I saw when I first walked into the classroom, I saw a whole automobile in the classroom with the hood up, the tires off, and you know, guys working on the engine. So of course it looks kind of unusual. I walk in this classroom and they got a car in the classroom, and you understand what I'm saying? This is a technical class. So this, you know, you want me to tell you what year is this, Koji?
What year is this?
It's 1980, man.
All right.
So this is how far ahead it is in us. And so when I come years later, you know, a lot of Jamaican mechanics, they come here and some of my boys, and I learn from them, and I realize this is how they get so good in some of these things. Not even that, so much inclined. So once you have an inclination, then you have the ability, the zeal to want to learn more in that particular part of our life. So if we grab some of these young men from high school, you understand me? So I thought your idea was really where it should start, and then it should continue in the community.
Yeah, the community.
So we got them, we done kidnap them now, versus these people. You understand?
Yep, they're going to be more inclined.
Because what I'm saying is, I'll throw this out there, and they can get mad all they want. You know, the government must take responsibility. See, people say you don't be in the government, but they don't be in the government in the community, you know, et cetera, right? But when you look at it as a young man like me, a man like me, who grew up in this country, the migrant problem is a problem for this country. Mm-hmm. And it has been and will continue to be until the government recognize that they have made the folly.
A lot of money leaving the country.
Nationality Act, and through allowing the migrants to come here unabatedly, they are basically responsible for this being. I went what they can say, man.
A lot of money coming out of the country. How much money is get sent out to these places every year?
Yeah, but not only that, Scoozy. I ain't really knocking on doors because I ain't knocking the PM. But see, I can't put everything on the PM. He just coming to power. But the PM needs to do something with this immigration problem. I don't like how he go on in the immigration community and talk, but he's one of them and all type of fool. I don't even listen to me, man.
The man ain't no fool.
I say foolishness. What I'm saying is I like what the PM was doing as far as this. I can't knock what Anton's saying. Because when you really look at it, it's really
no one can knock it.
Move.
No one can knock it.
I would have never thought that we would have been against the fellas with the Anglican Precinct.
No one against them.
All this different foolishness was going on. But we see the madness, me and you from the road. But we know when we see women and children and 2-year-old and this year old and that, man, suppose you come on, man, what's going on? These people that eat too much cheese, strudel, popcorn, hot dog, bubblegum, popcorn, what's going on? They ain't got no brains, they mindless. We see the bus drivers stopping in the middle of the road, blocking up the road last night, telling the people them threatening the traffic, the motorists, that he blocked up the road twice, and he got the people coming on the bus, and this is the main road blocking the red light. I almost get knocked down. My girl almost get knocked down. The country gone, but they saying it's what's going on. I thought within space of 20 minutes, I walking across Shirley Street with my son.
There's
in my
a lot
hand,
of mad people.
And the nigga in the cube, I 6'3", and he almost hit me with the car. You understand what I'm saying?
A lot of mad people in this country, bro.
But who's to blame? I mean, we could talk about what we want, right?
Government,
you have to look at where the
church,
chronology the problem is. But
and then the community.
They need to invest in the Bahamian youth before you say what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen because they do something angry. Somebody owe them something. I don't know. It ain't me, but they don't want to learn the trade either.
That's why you got them to pay them.
Yeah, but that's what they're saying. Something needs to be done.
You go have to pay them. That's why I know what they're saying. I apart Island study this. I see Lenahan Bahamas, and what they do is they do these same type of programs. And I've been learning, and I'm seeing this kids ain't coming over unless they're getting something, bro. Ain't nothing happening. You can't blame them.
We live in a sad place.
You can't blame them. Let me tell you, you can't blame them.
They don't respect us.
No, because
we look at the narratives. Bahamian people are being treated differently.
That's right. So now we get to a point where people frustrated. You understand? So we have to just do what we have to do, bro, and we have to pay them. It's simple as that. You go have all these kids.
But I don't want to be absorbed into this because the inner city model where nobody respects anybody. Not even in traffic. But Scrooge, I got a joke for you before I run.
Right.
If we could fight, like how we fight for traffic space and everyone not on the road, if we can fight that for our country and our communities, we'll have a perfect country. Bless up.
Yes, sir. Let me just say this real quick. Let me explain something. If we were to do this, and eventually we bring small business development in the inner city community along with the $21 million with the community centers. Not only that, we could build John Canoe centers as well, like John Canoe community centers that teaches how to make John Canoe artifacts, when it comes to T-shirts, John Canoe dolls, and make it an industry for a lot of at-risk kids in this community who are John Canoers, but they just don't have an idea on how to turn it into a business. So if we was to build training centers, what teaches plumbing, etc., electrical. Then we build one in the same area as a John Canoe center that teaches the kids how to, do all kind of sort of souvenirs. And then you also got to train them in making bags and shoes like Stapling School does, especially with those disabled people. They do some of the most beautiful set of work. So if we was to establish this in this community and then pay kids, and in us, there are a lot of abandoned lots in this community, like the old city market, for prime example. Could you imagine now, the government of the Bahamas right now was to turn that into a mini straw market right now, and as we build centers throughout the country, we have 3 in Grandstand, 3 in Mason Addition, 3 in Engelstein, and 3 Strategic Blessing, probably even 4 or 5 based on the population, and we have all these centers around the country teaching various different trades in the country. And we're paying the kids. The volume of success is going to be revealed. Automatically is going to be revealed. And then we're going to create a couple millionaires, and these same kids are going to start their businesses, with the small business development program. We have the small business development meter role. It's my good friend. But you can imagine we have the small business development in the inner city community where offices set up. So when you finish doing your training, you could go to the Small Business Development Center and get a small loan of $10,000 or $15,000 to probably even purchase a small property to open your barber shop or to open your cosmetology shop or to open your convenience store. And eventually, we would create thousandaires and millionaires. And when we start to create people with a song mind of giving and caring and giving back and of that love sense, everything, all of the logistics is going to work out itself. Trust me when I say this. If we create millionaires and thousandaires in these pockets of communities with small businesses, the crime wave we have now would dramatically drop because now we are providing opportunities. We have trades going on. Some of the guys turning into small business owners. The girls have their own small business set up in the inner city community. They breakfast. Some people are selling hot dogs. Some people are selling fruits and vegetables. And we are supporting one another. That's how we got to do things. And the Prime Minister is going to have to invest. Okay? And we're going to have a 20-year plan that deals with just this development plan that I talked about. We're going to take this last call. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside the Inner City on Garden Radio.
Good night, Scrooge. What's happening?
Good night. I'm fine.
Okay. All of you are my old schoolmate, 52, the caller before him, and yourself. Let me package what all of y'all are saying because all of y'all are speaking correct.
Go ahead, sir.
Mandatory National Youth Service. It's high time we take another look at that. Pillin may have been way before his time when he said that.
Yes, sir.
With the pushback, but it's high time we take another serious look at mandatory youth service. You see, a lot of people may be afraid when they hear youth service, but all of the things that you were saying, that we can push some into craft, some into auto mechanics,
yes, sir.
some into this, some into that, some into every aspect of the society in terms of youth service.
Yes, sir.
We could train these young men for 2 years, young men and women.
Yes.
And then we'll be on our way.
Yes.
On track.
Yes.
For a better society with these young people. Now, when it comes to bail, and this is my last point, when it comes to bail, what we need to do, we ain't got to march to the judiciary, because the judiciary and the legislative arms of government are supposed to be separate and apart.
Yes, sir.
So that's why the Prime Minister can get a little pushback with what he's saying with reference to bail. All he got to do,
yes, sir,
go in Parliament, take away the sureties that don't put up nothing, take away the sureties that put up papers and stuff like that, and introduce an all-cash bail. You up the bail a bit, and you introduce all cash. Right. So if someone get out on bail, you got to put up $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 cash. And that'll stifle plenty of them who's be getting out doing nothing. And if the fella jump bail, then whoever put up the cash bail, they have to pay. And that's those two of my contribution, National Youth Service and introduce cash bail.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you very much for your contribution. Oh, sorry about that. The mic dropped just now. A lot of people has a lot of great solutions. And you notice we all on key with this. National Youth Service. You talk about Linden. We're talking about building training centers in the inner city community. We're talking about putting a small business development. See, the small business development is the government complex. Edmund Moxie office and the Prime Minister's office. We have to think out the box now. We have to create small business centers in these inner city communities so people can have access to it. And again, like I say, we need each constituency MP to get a survey on how much abandoned houses there are in their community. We need to check and see who owns them, see if the government can buy them, turn them into low-cost homes, turn them into small business development centers, like, for instance, you're trying to create something. So if you have a house there and you look at it and you say you have some kids who been through training, the girl, she got at cosmetology, he got at barbering, this one got at making ice cream. So let's just buy this abandoned building here and turn this into 5 small businesses and give this one a section, give this one a section, give this one a section, let them work together, teach them money management, teach them conflict resolution, teach them about the new age of technology when it comes to banking, At the same time, you groom them, teach them how to save, teach them, and teach them about the family structure again. You understand? That's the most important message that we can do for this country right now. We have to do this now, and then we could get ahead of the problem. But like I say, we're going to have to pay these kids. I don't care what no one say. You can talk all you want. Don't go around gathering these kids up and you ain't got nothing to give them. Don't carry these kids to the urban news center if you ain't paying these kids and give these kids sniping. At the end of the day, these kids are at risk. So let's take the responsibility away from them going home, knowing that they don't have nothing. But at least when they go home from Monday to Friday, they could say, I get $200. They could say, I get $300 gross voucher, and be comfortable. And they would want to come to the center and continue to excel because they have something to look for and they would like the program even more better. I think we should take a break. The producer, we have to take a break on Garden Radio. I'll see you after the break on Garden Radio 96.9 FM.
Call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a signed blank check. It seems the ones that come in after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up in town, bro. Where I from Dayton, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Dayton, bro. Where I from Dayton, bro. Dayton, I say up and running. Caliban say my boy don't ever give
Hey,
in.
you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bump into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
So what you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business, then Jack come after me, and I line up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and we could text them, and the messages get all mixed up before it leave your phone, so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas.
Good night and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm your host, Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every 6:30 to 8 p.m. I got this comment here saying, excuse me, sir, you want to create a welfare community. Well, we done on welfare community, but I want to build, if you say a welfare community, that is going to be productive in the first year of giving back to the kids. Because I guarantee you, if you were to give the kids back something at the end of the week, knowing that they're going to get something at the end of the week, they're going to be more inclined. Remember, Christ, when he walked and he fed the 5,000, what did he do? He knew those people were hungry. He knew him talking wasn't good enough. So he knew he had to provide welfare for them. So that's why he went and he break the fish and he break the bread and then turn into a multitude. If this ain't a prime example of what I'm trying to explain to you, then there's no reason for me to be on this radio because people don't even have insight. And that's a good insight where they could use in the Bible to show you that Christ even knew that he can't go dealing with all kind of people who are being degenerated by their government. High taxes, poverty, crime. So he knew going into that multitude of people, he had to provide welfare. Okay, and the message went clear to them because they said that they sit down and they listen. So what is the concept from then to now? And that's thousands of years ago. That remedy still is work today. And if we don't go back to that remedy, and this person talking on welfare, that's the welfare I'm talking about. And then this one says, excuse me, sir, police don't pay the recruits while training. Well, listen to me. I ain't worried about no recruits or no police because many of them are going to be sexy. I'm talking about people who live in this community are poor and not doing so well. The police, these officers themselves who are recruit might not be doing so well, but like I say, they have an opportunity for them set in the city who don't have the chance to go to the police training center. That's what I'm talking about. What about the set who don't go to the police training center? Now, yes, they might not get paid at the police training center. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to you, if you look at the overall, I just talk about Christ. So what was the reason he gave? He break the bread and the fish and turn into 5,000. Give me a reason. Why didn't he go and preach to those people? And people might have stoned him because the people's stomach bubbling. You understand? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. My last comment is going to be this. The community be loosening up to play a very important role in this as well. And they're going to be properly trained to go around and survey the area and find abandoned houses, move dialect vehicles, find at-risk kids. We also need a task force that goes around starting from 8 o'clock. We need to get police recruits, probably 20 to each school, have them walk around tents with the senior cop to walk around and patrol that area and make sure that kids are not on the streets after 9 o'clock. Canvass the area, walk, and make sure be in high patrol and make sure that if there's an altercation where officers is in a situation where the kids don't want to listen, but you have 10 rookie cops or 20 rookie cops there with with not tasers, who are trained to apprehend in these type of situations so that when they try and separate these kids and fighting, because we see on Facebook where the kids fighting and carrying on and inspect the fighting with these kids. Well, you train these young officers how to deal with this crowd in a particular way, in a decent, mannerly fashion to make sure we have control. So 2 police can't be around a school. We need like schools that are at risk like D.W. Davis, C.C. Sweden, R.M. Bailey, and schools like C.R. Walker. We need a 10, 20-man team of young recruits along with senior officers who train on how to de-escalate situations around the school, because we have a lot at risk kids in the school. And with the crowd of police, this should be able to keep the crowd at bay, because they'd attack 2 officers, but 10 officers or 15 officers, and then, like I say, community policing, the camera stereo, and that's some of the suggestions. But it has to be a 20-year plan where no government comes in and stop it, where at least $100 million is put every year to put preventative measures and programs in place. And I think that the kids, all a part of the program, should be paid and given the sniping, because this would encourage them. This would help them develop their character. And they'd be more dedicated to come to classes now and learn more, knowing that at the end of the day, they don't have to go home with an empty stomach. They could stop along the street as they go home, could buy something to eat, carry home, even cook, help their mom pay the cable bill or light bill, and feel more like their life means something. Because their parents can't put too much pressure on them, because they're bringing in like $500 grocery and stuff like that. So the parents can't take advantage of them. They cannot be abusive, because they're to a program. They could talk to teachers who love them. They could talk to pastors who love them. They could talk to teachers who love them. They could talk to the community who love them, so we know exactly what's going on in their home. And it takes the pressure off of them. That's all I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. If they're abusive home, this would give them the opportunity now to lead a normal life, and they have people they can fight in. That's what it's all about right now. Okay? So, 20-year plan. I hope the leaders can come together and do a 20-year plan that doesn't stop. Get the proper funding every year. Dealing with the prison, building community centers, bringing small business development in the city community, repairing rundown homes in the inner city community, and selling them at a cheap price back to single moms or single fathers in the community, and just keep on developing in the community. Create some small business, thousandaires and millionaires. And listen to me, every justice after that is going to work out. It's going to work out after that. So that's just it. That's what I have to say on it. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I'd like to say thanks to all the callers. You guys did a wonderful job. And I'll see you next week, Friday, on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm your host, Valentino Brand, a.k.a. Scooch or Screw It. Have a wonderful, wonderful night and enjoy it.
Now some Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Bintan, I say up and running. Caliban say my show boy don't ever give in. 7 years of farm and watch the crops them coming. True they see a humble thing, the lion sleeping. But they ain't for no reason. Only God that I believe in, living. Watch them only pass for a season. Cutlass, I go weed them. I represent the ghetto people I from. Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.